This is for those who want to live and love on a property that they have control and ownership over and can do meaningful work on. And they want to accomplish this kind of life from the ground up and understand every part of it, every part of their life, so that they can cultivate a life of wisdom, love, care, responsibility, sustainability, hard work, nature, and health. The description will have the following: some resources for finding like-minded people, maybe some videos for different systems to help people accomplish this, and the document project that I am writing that is focused on understanding the earth. The first step is acquiring rights to unused earth. This is the hardest part, I think. Very wealthy people own acres upon acres of land, and it's so much space. The amount of things that can be done on that space, if used optimally, is incredible. And on a lot of those acres, a completely wild forest grows, or basically nothing grows. Government is a system. This is the next part, not the same point. Government is a system created by the people of a nation to maintain order and teamwork to honor moral and just laws. If this isn't the case somehow from your lived experience, then that's a whole nother problem, and we have to stop that. If that's not the case in your country somehow, then you have to speak up against it. Because that would be tyranny and injustice, which cannot fester. That's just bad. These governments claim portions of the earth to be used as areas of reservation for wildlife and parks for us to enjoy, and like useful buildings and other good and just purposes. So they're a bit different, because it's truly good for them to claim land for these good purposes. Again, if the government does if the government does something evil, then it's your duty to speak up about it. Right? Certainly, right? But people also deserve the right to own land. And so it's good for them to lawfully purchase land and own it and be a human being who owns land to have a life on. Where's the problem then? All people deserve the right to own land and build a life. The people who want to build a life entirely from scratch and not just build a giant industrial complex that pollutes and is controversial. Living is not controversial. That's who I'm talking about. The people who just want to live without all kinds of worries about money, taxes, paperwork, building permits. All people in the world who live deserve the minimum amount of land necessary to build a life on. People need ownership of things in general, even if it's just their body. People who want to take care of other people and have children, which is a lot of the population, deserve rights to property and life. That isn't controversial. There's barriers, though. We have to earn quite a lot of... These are like the problems. This is the real thing I'm complaining about. You have to earn quite a lot of money for land, despite unused earth being to your right and to your left. Whenever you drive down the highway, you just see so much unused space. It's everywhere. Unused land, wild earth, everywhere. Once you get an absurd amount of money, then you have to pay that money in order to live. It seems strange. Why? I'm genuinely asking. I understand why we have to pay for food and tools and things that require effort. That makes sense. I'm not advocating against hard work. But why do we have to pay money for land in order to live as a human being? I'm just asking. In Colorado, there existed a restriction to your ability to collect rainwater. Free water from the sky that lands on your property? Why? Why is that a law? What's the reason? At the very least, I want a clear reasoning that is accessible as to why such a restriction could possibly exist, since it sounds outrageous. And since it's outrageous, it could be evil. And when the government enforces laws, we shouldn't just accept them, obviously. Unless the government is perfect, but they might not be entirely perfect. Possibly. I just want the reason. Once you own the land after buying it, you have restrictions like this, as well as building restrictions in certain counties. In Tennessee, you can't build certain structures that are movable and reside in them permanently, or something like that. That's evil, unless a clear and just reason is presented. There has to be reasons. Once you own land, you have required taxes. In order to pay taxes, in order for me to pay taxes, I want to have in front of my eyes an easy to understand list of exactly where each tax dollar is going. Since taxes are made in order to serve the people who live within the nation, I currently don't understand where tax money goes. What taxes I need to pay, how to pay them, where to pay them, how to morally justify paying money to be alive, and how to buy land, how to keep land, how to get to the land since I can't drive a car, how to find safe land that isn't next to pollution or highways. That's another huge problem. It's exceedingly hard to live in peace. Or how to get any of those things in a manageable order. I'm trying, though. That's the next part. My trying has led me to consider new options for land ownership. Kinda unique and new things. Here is a draft of the kind of agreement I want to put together. It's a land proposal, I call it. It's meant to be a safe, human agreement that allows ownership of property taxed land, or land that has been acquired by somebody else who is okay with the taxing system. And that whole general system of purchasing and just everything that comes with modern buying of land. It includes living on the ends of a large portion of property, so being a distant neighbor, I suppose, unbothering, and explaining to the landowner clearly what kind of tyranny we are fighting against, being thankful and kind, even though I feel entitled to this in lots of ways. And then agreeing to help the neighbors / the landowner, but no longer the landowner for my section of the land, helping them with whatever, anything, especially as a paying job. Hopefully as a paying job if they're wealthy enough, but that's kind of separate. Also explaining to the neighbor like how you're saving the world by doing this, how it's important, and also just doing good things on my property, like having my family there and maybe even having a business there that helps people, which is what I want to do. Not everyone should have to do that, but yeah. Also, having full ownership over my part of the land. I'm not sure what kind of agreement we'd have to put together for that to allow the most peace of mind, but yes. It won't be much space at all. Not much space at all, just what's necessary. I will offer to pay a small amount of money, an affordable amount of money. But hopefully I won't even have to do that, but like, you know, maybe like $100 up front or something. And it's all very informal. It's not like a government-based or really even a contract-based agreement, although there will be like a contract to it. And finally, growing some crops and using my skill set to give back. Yes. And another solution that relates to the government side of this whole problem is the government can implement more easily accessible methods for human beings to easily acquire land ownership. It should be taught in schools. I'll link a video to this by Eric Dubay that is one possible way to achieve this. This is where other skill sets come in. People who share my values but want to pressure the government to be better can use their knowledge to get this message to governments. On the land, there must be a few prerequisites in terms of resources. First and most importantly, walkable access to a settlement or city where we can work and participate in society and like earn things. You know what I mean? Get recycled resources, have access to emergency services, and just human beings. Number 2, the ability to collect a reasonable amount of water on the property, hopefully from a river. I don't want to waste water either. Number 3 is proximity to a vast amount of wild earth to explore and visit. These are my prerequisites. We are going to work hard for what we need. For able-bodied people, it is not entirely necessary that the land itself has to have every resource on it. For people who have the gift of bodily health, we can work as hard as our bodies will allow us to bring resources to the home we are building. I need to know why things happen. I need to know things so I may be educated and not ignorant. I need to understand so I can use that knowledge to make decisions, to care for the people I have dedicated my life to help. To summarize, we have to understand why things are the way that they are. Understand why things are the way that they are inside the earth that we live in. These things made by man. If certain things are wrong, then speak up about them and don't try to keep the peace. Number 2, acquire land through an agreement based on that understanding and based on human trust and love while still being wise. Okay. Work as hard as you can to the best your body will allow for new solutions that work and are in line with your values: love, wisdom, care, responsibility, hard work, nature, truth, and health. Step 2. Once we have our land. So I wrote a document, and I'm currently writing it, and I plan to always be writing it for as long as I live. The key necessities of human life. Here are the table of contents. 1, preparation, tools, and land. 2, building, so that's just constructing things like chicken coops and homes. Number 3 is water mastery, because water is absolutely essential. You need it for showers, clothes, cleaning, washing, which is cleaning, but cooking. Water and understanding water is so important. Number 4, fire mastery. Any place in the world that has a winter requires you to have an understanding of fire so that you can stay warm and cook. Number 5 is a sustaining garden, which I would classify into 2 parts. Number 1, this is just for plants. Number 1, a garden that can feed you and grow medicinal plants. And number 2, a permaculture forest based on the environment that you're in that provides food without you having to put in much work. Number 6 is hunting, trapping, fishing, and farming small animals, which is, Number 7 is natural remedies. So I'm working on a big list of sustainable and accessible and I guess free ways of getting medicine. Like how you can drink apple cider vinegar for certain health problems. Number 8 is tools and clothes. Number 9 is community. So doing all these things with people and keeping people in mind while we do it. Well, what should this document be? A straightforward and simple guide that explains the most fundamental and important needs and ideas for living freely in the physical world. How we must research for this project. Explain how to navigate links. And these are rules for me, kind of. The core values of what I'm trying to do. Explain core fundamentals for understanding an idea or problem. Then provide links and encourage deeper thinking to create solutions. Include searchable keywords so people can research it more. Consider the needs of others. This one has been very hard for me over time. I'm getting better at it though. Consider safety of others and the earth. This is very important. if you believe that humans have the potential to destroy the earth, which they already have a little bit, which is factual, but I don't know about fully destroying it. Include communities, include links, okay. And now I put together rules for the reader. Use the entire world and the internet to find knowledge. Consider what should be possible, rather than always only considering what is possible. Know that there are always ways to accomplish the things that we need. Don't be discouraged. And so that's an outline of the document that I'm trying to put together. To summarize being free and living freely on your homestead, build a structurally sound temporary shelter using recycled or all-natural materials. Think about what should be possible rather than what you know to be possible. Prepare. Learn and write out everything you learn and make it accessible for others. You don't have to do that. I'm just throwing out ideas. Stay busy and happy. You have to do that, I think. Come together and search for people who share your values. And then finally, love and celebrate. Thank you for watching this. I don't know if I was entirely clear. I'm like reading from a script, obviously. Yeah, thank you. I hope you believe in some of these things, and I hope you care about some of these things, and I hope I explained them in any meaningful way. Thank you. Thank you.